Hi there. It is Monday, September 21st. This is 8th grade language arts at Hanby Middle School. I am Mr. Newman, and this is our class recap. So first and foremost, you see me in a very different environment. I'm sitting here in my classroom. I would love to say that it looks just like it always does, and maybe it does to you with me at the front of the room. But let me show you what it looks like for me. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Here, we have an empty room. You all should be here. You're not. I know there will be a time when you come back, and I think like many of you, are awaiting that moment. But instead, here we are. So for today's class recap, we're going to start by going to our planner in Google Classroom. Okay. I'm on Monday, September 21st. I'm going to click on the planner, and I'm going to click on the planner slide. Please take a minute in your planner, in your Hanby planner, to write this down. If you haven't already, our planner, our objective, and your assignment due Friday. You can hit the space bar to pause while you do this, and then come on back. Oh, hey, you're back. Good job. Okay, so let's review the planner that you've written down. It's September 21st. Our goal today is I can check out a Hanby library book. That's what I would like you to be able to do by the end of the period. I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you'll have time either for reading and also for CBM testing. Your assignment by Friday is to do exactly that, to check out a Hanby library book. A couple of things that we reviewed before the start of class. The first one is that our Google Meets goal this week is to demonstrate active participation. To review our Google Meets protocol, we're going to go to the 8th grade website under Team Links. We're going down to Google Meets protocol. And then we're going to scroll down to the bottom here where it says Demonstrate Active Participation. I'm going to read this out loud. Use the chat for on-topic questions or teacher-directed input, not social messaging or political statements. So guys, this is the big thing that I'm looking for this week. I'm looking for when you are in a Google Meet that chat function is used in a couple of different ways. Number one, I ask a question. Some people respond verbally, other people answer through the chat. And when I say answer through the chat, like I ask, you type your answer and you click send, okay? So that's an appropriate use. Another appropriate use, you have to leave because something's come up, your internet went down, you have an appointment, you say, hey, sorry, I have to leave, and then you go leave. Or you get kicked out and you come back and you say, hey, sorry, I'm back, or, sorry, I got kicked out, blah, blah, blah. And you just leave it at that, okay? You are informing me of what's going on. I may acknowledge that if I'm in the middle of explaining, or I may not. But when you see that and you are someone else in the class, you don't need to respond, okay? So it's, again, it's this communication device. It's for on-topic commentary. So basically, I ask you for that, or you have something that is related to the class. Like someone today came in late. They said, sorry, I was late. What did I miss? I said, hey, welcome to class. We can talk about it later. Okay? So those things. Not like, hey, my book is better than your book, or you should check out this, or, oh my gosh, I just dropped my contact down the drain, or some of the other things I saw today. So beginning today during class, I am giving you a grade this week. It's a 10-point grade. I'm going to evaluate it. It'll go in on Friday, and it's on your active participation. So the other thing that's in there, you want to close windows that aren't related, but I also want to see active participation. So if we do it, like in class today, we did a Padlet. If we do a Padlet, I want to see your name on it. If I ask you to write something down somewhere, I want to see that you did it. And so this is where, sometimes you're going to volunteer in class, sometimes you're not. But with the Padlet, with active participation, whatever it is, if it's a written thing, or go to this website, or go here, or do this, like, I want to see that you're doing that, okay? So, good job. If you sign in to the Meet, barring internet issues, I expect you to be there during the whole time. Okay, so moving back to our planner, which is how do we check out a book from the Hanby library? To do this, in Google Classroom, we're going to go back, and instead for the week of September 21st, we're going to go up to the 40 book challenge, which is right above that. And in here, there is something that says Hanby Library Book Checkout. When I click on this, it gives me two options. It says review the procedures for checking out a book from the Hanby library, then search the catalog. Okay, so the catalog is this thing that says welcome to Central Point. When I click on that, it takes me to the catalog. Now, you know, in the good old days, you could go and you find a book and you say, hey, I want to read this book and I've got it, and you go to check it out and things like that, but we can't do that right now. So this is how we're going to work around it. Okay, so my recommendation is in the find, write down the genre of book you are looking for. So for example, if I was looking for fantasy, I would type fantasy here, and then I have to change my interest level. The default is unlimited, okay? And I recommend that you change this to young adult because that's where you guys are at. So you do that, you've typed your genre, then click the button for keyword. And what you're gonna get is there are 68 fantasy titles, okay? Now you can go through and you can do that thing that we all do of judging a book by its cover and choose one that, you know, the cover looks interesting, or, you know, maybe you've heard of it or you just like the title or whatever it is. So from here, you can read what's it about. Matt Cruz, a student of the Airship Academy, and Kate DeVries, a young heiress, team up with a gypsy and a daring captain to find the long-lost airship. So if I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Like, maybe I'm interested in that, okay? If so, you need to check to see if the book is available. So right here it says local copies available, 2 of 2. So what that tells you is 2 is how many are available. The second number is how many there are in the library. So right now both of these are available to check out. So if I wanted to check out a book, I need to remember the title and the author. Now, I'm in this search. I can scroll back and forth by hitting these arrows. Like, for example, I can go to the next one and so on and so forth, right? But let's say I'm going to go back to Skybreaker, and I'm going to say, I want to check this one out, okay? So from here, I need to send Mrs. Friesen an email. But let's look at what those requirements are. So I'm going to go back into Google Classroom, and here I have HMS Library Procedure. Okay, when I click on this, it says, hey, here's what you need to do to check out a book. And I'm just going to read this out loud. Please follow along. This year continues to bring many challenges for us all. The Hanby Library is no exception. Our library books will be available for student checkout, but like everything else in 2020, it will be done differently than in years past. Rather than browsing the shelves in person, students can access our online catalog to search for books and then request to check them out. Please read through the following information for reference on how to get our books into student hands. So, you can begin checking books out on September 14th. Okay, that was last Monday. Browse the library catalog. That's what you did. Okay, once the student chooses which book they would like to check out, make sure it displays that there are copies available. They will then email Mrs. Friesen at stacia.friesen@district6.org with their request. The email should include the following: the title, the author, and how you want to get the book. Okay, so let's review how to do this. I'm going to start out, even if I don't know how to spell Mrs. Friesen's name, I can highlight it, and then I'm going to choose copy. Then I'm going to open an email message, and I'm going to send it. Okay, so let's look at how to open email and send the message. Hi there. Okay, so now we are in, we're in email. So I'm going to click for a new email. And this box opens up. And let's see. Let's make that our whole screen. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, so I had highlighted Mrs. Friesen's name before. So now I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. Okay, you can also just search for Friesen, F-R-I-E-S-E-N, and use the little magnifying glass, and it'll help you get there. So I'm sending her an email to say, hey, I've got this book that I want to check out, and how do I do it? Okay, so I'm going to say book checkout request. Okay, and now I'm going to send her a email etiquette appropriate email. Hi, Mrs. Friesen, hyphen, skip a line. I would like to check out the book Airbender by Kenneth Apple. Okay, so now you need to, you've said the title and the author. So the next thing you need to do now is you need to tell Mrs. Friesen how you're going to pick it up. You have one of two options. The first one is a family member is going to come to the Hanby cafeteria. Okay. Your second option is that you would like Mrs. Friesen to send it on the District 6 Express to your stop, and you have to know what that is. If you don't know where your stop is, ask mom, dad, and grandma. If they don't know, ask someone to call the Hanby office and say, this is where I live, what's my stop? Okay. If you still can't figure it out, you can ask me and I will forward it to Mrs. Powell or Mrs. Johnson so that they can tell you where your stop is. Okay. So here I would say my grandma will come pick up the book at the Hanby cafeteria. Okay. Thank you. And then you sign with your first and last name. Or I could change it to say, please send the book on the D6 Express. My stop is Sam's Valley Elementary. Okay, and you can do that. So, and then when you click send, Ms. Friesen gets the request. She checks to see that the book is available, and then we're back in the HMS library procedures. So you have sent her an email. So here we are. Once the book is ready to go on the bus to be picked up, Mrs. Friesen will email a confirmation response. So you have to be checking your email. Okay. Returns will work the same way. So she's going to say confirmation, yep, I've got it. It's going to be ready for grandma to pick up on this date. Or I've got it. I'm sending it out on the D6 Express. It'll be at this stop on this date. Okay. So that's one way. Another, and then you get the book out. When you're ready to return it, you send her an email again. And you say, hey, I read The Airbender. I'm finished with it. I'd like to return it. And you can say, I put it on the D6 Express. It's coming back to Hanby. Or my grandma will drop it off at the cafeteria. Ms. Friesen gets your email. She'll get the book, confirm that you've returned it, and you're all set. Okay? So your goal this week is by Friday, you need to check out a book from the library. Now in class, I had a lot of people say, look, I'm already reading a book. I've got a book from home. I'm reading a whole series of books. Or my favorite, there isn't a single book in the Hanby library that I want to read. Okay, so that last statement is not true. What you can rephrase it as is, I have not yet found a book in the Hanby library that I want to read. But you now have a chance to search the catalog. So do one of those things. By Friday, you need to check out a book. I will see you in class tomorrow.